Welcome to Hard Dose, where we always have your prescription for entertainment discussion. My name is Bryan McBallz, and returning with me this week we have Mike RoninPhan.
Ohio gozaimasu.
And we also have the lovely Jordan Wade.
The lovely Jordan Wade. Hey, how's it going?
And
Lovely.
we're back this week talking about Luther. We've finished the final season and the series as a whole, so we're here to talk about that. Spoiler warnings, we spoil everything. So, Mas Spoilerinos, Mucho Dongarino, okay? And
How'd your kids? How'd your wives?
so we're jumping right in. Let's start with this. Season 3. All right, no, you know what? I want to start with this. We start with Season 3. This lady, this dude. No, wait, this might be a later episode. But anyways, it's a couple. They're going to bed. The lady hears a cat meowing, and she has her cell phone in hand, ready to call the cops on a cat meowing. And then the dude goes in the attic, starts having a tussle, whatever you want to say.
Well, you know what the guy said first. The guy said, "Don't call the cops. What are you gonna tell them that a cat's meowing? We lost our cat." He's like, "No, whatever."
So anyways, yeah, the guy signed his own death warrant, maybe. So he goes upstairs, and she hears the wrestling. She sits there and just quivers, and like her instinct to pick up the phone and call the cops is just gone. And then the dude's head comes through the ceiling, still doesn't call the cops.
But first of all, the guy stared at some dude underneath plastic in his attic for like a minute. You know, it's like getting closer and closer. It's like if you see something weird, just go downstairs. You're done. Like just get out of the attic. You know that shouldn't
just take
be
it off.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. So yeah, they both get killed, whatever. But yeah.
And that's the thing. She doesn't grab the phone and run off the house.
Yeah.
She grabs nothing and goes into the closet, not the exit of the house.
And yeah, she doesn't take the phone with her into the closet, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, I think in her defense, I think her exit was blocked by the attic door, but she could have just easily folded up the ladder and put up the door. I mean, I know it's in the moment it's crazy, but still, she didn't really go into survival mode. Like she just like went into oh my god, I'm dead mode. Like let me hide. Like it was not.
To be honest, looking at it, I looked at it again. I was like, I'm pretty sure she could have squeezed between the ladder and the wall.
Yeah, or at least like I know with my attic door or whatever, you could just kind of like lift it and go through real quick. You know, like I don't know, whatever. So yeah, they're dead.
Another note, DS Ripley kind of got them killed because Luther was calling them. They answered, but at the same time, DS Ripley punched Luther.
Yeah.
Because he was being turned into an informant by DS Gray and DSU Stark.
Before we get into that, and we will. Let's talk about this. Let's go into the strong points of Season 3 first.
Okay.
What we really liked, and then we'll do the low points, the stuff we had issues with. So, Jordan, what do you think of the strong points of Season 3? What did you like?
Okay, strong points. Idris Elba's still amazing. He's still pretty badass. Other strong point, I like that the series has continuously sort of allowed Luther to keep digging his own grave, so to speak. You know, it's interesting because in the moment you see what he's doing, and he's kind of I wouldn't say a dirty cop. He kind of uses dirty, tactics, but he does it all, and he means well by it, and you don't think that it's going to come back to bite him in the ass like it does, but they do have a great job of building that up. Like everything he's done in the series, from a different point of view, like from Stark's point of view, it could be like he is a bad guy. He's on the other side of the law, and it's like everything he does could be misconstrued as that. And I was impressed that they continued to build that up over the series.
Yeah, that is a good observation. Never thought about that. Yeah, overall, he keeps digging his own grave and unaware that someone's actually keeping an eye on him. And out of everyone, it was DS Gray that decided to go after him.
Yeah. Yeah, Brian, did you have any strong points?
Bruin?
I like that. Yeah, my bad.
Okay.
I like that they offed Ripley. Like I like Ripley, but I like that that was probably the most emotional part of the entire series for me. And
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, I saw it coming. I don't know, like it seemed like everything was going too well for him because he's like in the beginning of the episode, the chick wants to date him or something. What was it? It was like Gray wanted to get with him. Actually, she wanted to date him, and then after that, I don't know if she was just like trying to trick him or something, but there was some kind of romantic interest. And then,
Well, I don't think she actually had romantic interest in him. She was doing it to trick Luther because she wanted to give him reason to.
no, not the kiss, not the kiss. I'm
Okay,
talking about
okay.
where it was like episode 3, I believe, or episode 2. I don't remember, but
Oh, yes.
they're in the office, and she's
Yes.
he's like, hey, do you just want to like grab a cup of coffee, like not work related? And then she looked like she was happy to hear that. So
Yeah.
there was a possible thing blooming between him and Gray, and then also Luther's like, you know what, I'm gonna retire soon. You need your own little Ripleys running around, like he's about to get his promotion. And I'm like, oh shit, like he's gonna get offed. And then and then Luther's holding the dude from trying to keep him from suffocating or getting hanged. And he's like,
Right.
Ripley, go chase that guy with the shotgun. And I'm like, shit, he's dead. He's just fucking dead.
I had a feeling it was like Jack Bauer syndrome, because anyone that helps Jack Bauer is doomed. Anyone that helps Luther is doomed.
It's not to that extent.
Right.
But yeah, it's just that was a high point as far as I liked Ripley. I liked Ripley as a character. I liked that he was like a pupil to Luther and he was loyal to them for the most part. And then he gets off doing his job, and I don't know, it's kind of sad. Whatever.
Right. And it was like, and at the most inconvenient point in Luther's the D.S. Gray's and Stark's interrogation or investigation to Luther. It happened at the most unfortunate time, and that was great timing.
Yeah, let's
for drama.
let's segue into what we didn't like, and that's going to be the first point I want to make, is that they're like still trying to pin Luther on something, and it's like, they got this little web of connected people, and they're like, all these people were killed around you, and it's like, I thought that he had already been disproved for killing his wife, and that, I don't know, it just seems like the guy's under constant scrutiny, and it almost seems like we're revisiting that plot line. Like, it was enjoyable still, but I feel like they could have went in another direction. I don't know.
I mean, I liked that direction that they took, because it gave Luther a foe that wasn't when he's chasing the serial killers, they're not really going up against him. They're not delving into his life. They may try to kill him when they have an interaction, when they meet one another. But beyond that, I mean, this is the first time someone's purposely going after Luther.
Well, in season 1 they did it too.
Well, that was
Ian.
Ian.
Yeah.
But that's after a criminal activity. But this is actually the law that's going after Luther.
Well, but even before that too, when they had that guy, what was the head guy in charge? In season 1, he wasn't. Shank. Shank was investigating him the whole season 1. They were still they were investigating what he did at the very beginning of the first season, how they think he murdered that guy. First.
Well, yeah, I guess, I never thought about it that way, but it wasn't that as of an intensive investigation.
Yeah, it wasn't as intense.
Investigating was on the surface and what was known. Stark was actually delving into his life, and then that going to a strong point. One of my favorite scenes that made me had a gut-wrenching scene was when Stark and Gray showed up at Luther's house.
Yeah, they're fucking with his girl.
Yeah, his current girlfriend. The first moment of happiness he's had since his wife was lost to him, and they're trying to turn her against him. I was like, ooh, really hate these guys.
Yeah, it's just dirty, man.
Well, I'm sort of on the middle ground between you two about how the investigation thing goes. I didn't mind. I like that they opened up this season with Stark kind of being the foe for Luther. The issue I have is that by the end of episode 3, we find that Ripley, said that he doesn't believe that Luther did anything wrong because we hear the recording. Also, you find out that Aaron Gray sort of kind of just admits that she feels like what they are doing might be wrong. So I'm like, okay, well maybe they should just drop it. But then we start episode 4 with them still going after him, and that kind of just that bothered me. Like I thought that was like I feel like it came to its natural conclusion. Luther knew they were investigating him. He came in and found their hideout. He finds out Ripley wasn't telling on him. He found out Ripley was loyal, and Aaron Gray wanted to kind of stop at it.
It's like Aaron Gray was just relentless. She was ruthless on her pursuit of that, because all of a sudden, like you said, it seemed to have come to a proper conclusion, and then Ripley gets killed, and the girl is they attempt to kill her. The shotgun guy attempts to kill her in Luther's home, and then they're like, "Oh, you did this, Luther. This is your fault. Like you paid this guy to go shoot up your house and kill your friends."
That was a far stretch.
Yeah, I was like, really, these guys are assholes, dude. Like, let him do his job.
Okay, and then this goes into another weak point. So they introduce all this again because of those 2 killings, but then they just both end up getting offed by Marwood. Like he ends up just going in and killing them, and like it just kind of that's one of the major issues I have with this series. Stuff is just too convenient for Luther.
Well, D.S. Gray, she survived.
Yeah, she survived somehow.
Wait, she was on a stretcher at the end? I don't remember that.
Yeah, she was alive.
Yeah.
And on a stretcher at the end of the episode.
I guess I wasn't even paying attention.
Yeah, but no, I actually like that Stark got like insta-gibbed. Like he just got like shotgun dead. Like I thought it was funny because he talked a lot of shit, and like he thought he was a big deal, and then he just gets blasted. Like it was hilarious to me.
But overall, I mean, like I did like how Luther was able to figure out where Stark and Gray's home base was. I like how he tricked the vigilante with having a wild card like Alice show up. So the strong point for me was when Alice returned.
I like that Alice came back. I feel like they've made her too OP though. Like she's overpowered. Yeah. She goes up with caltrops and gas mask and tear gas. She's like fully equipped, and she single-handedly takes out the escort and bails Luther out. It's cool, but it kind of elevates it away from the realness factor. You know what I mean?
Right. And especially that scene where she got a bullet and was able to fire it by wedging it between a door and hit a subject.
Yeah, with a hammer. Yeah.
What even a hammer? She took a door handle off a door and used it as a hammer. It's just she MacGyvered the whole thing. Like it was ridiculous. I mean, she is majorly OP. She's like Kratos. Like she totally Kratos the situation. It's like this is ridiculous. I love the character, but she was ridiculous.
And she came back with her shorter hair, and I see. So I wanted to know what you guys thought about how Luther ended up with Alice. To me, it's like she just said when she first came back, she's like, "Oh," he's like, "What have you been doing?" Well, most girls wanted to be a princess or astronaut or whatever. I just wanted to be a widow. And I was like, why would you stay with this woman? There's no guarantee you're gonna wake up alive with her. That's just insane.
It's their quirky relationship, I guess, and I know this is like a huge centerpiece to the fandom, I guess. I've kind of like read around the boards and stuff, and they seem to be a lot of like shippers for that stuff with Alice and Luther. So I'm like, I don't know. I think it's just to keep their relationship kind of quirky, and I think at the end it shows us that he had the choice to choose a regular, honest woman he could settle down with, and the crazy Alice, and go on some wild adventure. And then at that point, he's just like, what, screw it, I want the adventure, and he's like, I'm just gonna go with Alice.
He's like, I want to see how deep this rabbit hole goes.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of, I guess, mixed on the ending. It wasn't like truly satisfying to me. Like, here's what it is. It seems like they didn't know if they were coming back or not. So they made something that can be considered an ending, but at the same time, it's open-ended. And they shot it on that bridge where him and Alice had their first scene, or their scene on in episode 1.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So it's kind of like this feeling of completion, like episode 1 to the end. Like, here's the bridge again, and he gets rid of his coat, his signature coat.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, speaking of signature code, I love how they went. I do like that Stark and Gray went into his house and find that he has the same outfit. He decides he wears the same shirt, same coat, same pants, same everything. And it's like, I thought that was great. Like I kind of geeked out at that. I thought that it's like he's like a superhero who never changes his costume. You know,
He's
I
a
thought that was
cartoon
kind of
character.
yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, I agree. I like I like the ending because, like you said, it left it open ended for potential continuation in some form or matter. There was talks of a movie possibly, but the show writer said they're not doing another series. But it gave closure to what potential could happen, and I mean, to me, it ended for me when he threw the code out. It's like that's him saying goodbye to his job right there, ending of his chapter of his life and moving on. I just agreed to go move on with Alice, but that's just me because I don't want to sleep with one eye open my entire life.
I think she would treat him differently than some regular average Joe, though.
Right.
They have some kind of really deep connection. I don't know, but who knows? I mean, you're right. She's crazy. So
yeah, you just piss her off once and you don't know what's about to happen.
Yeah, like they're living together or something, and he leaves the toilet seat up, and she's like, gonna...
She stabs him with a nail, you know, like just slice. You know, she likes those little things to kill people with. She's dangerous.
And
well,
so,
yeah, like you said, she became a total badass with a nail, just stabbing a dude in the throat at the end.
So, as a whole, what are your thoughts on Luther as a whole? Like, the series in its completion, all, what is it, 14, 15 episodes?
14.
It's 14.
Yeah. For me, I love it. I mean, it's one of my favorite series that I've seen. I know there's a little plot holes and plot devices that we all don't agree with, but as far as tone and performances wise, and especially the subject matters of the serial killers, I mean, they were fascinating. That to push to extreme, especially I'm surprised this show kind of airs in the UK, or this type of show was created, because they're not known for violent shows, and I guess from my perspective looking on the outside world, a lot of people shun America for having violent programming, and I was just a little shocked to see something like that outside of America, especially from BBC.
Yeah, I would say it does. It feels very American for a BBC show for sure, and that kind of stems from the cinematography and stuff like that, which I think it's got to be at like 24 frames per second because we don't have that sort of weird motion blur going on. So from an aesthetic standpoint, it's very American feeling, just with British accents. I like the first season. I didn't much care for the second season, and I have some serious problems with the third season. So I don't know if I could say on a whole that I could like recommend the whole series. I think that Idris Elba does a great job playing Luther. There are a few memorable characters. I felt like at times it was sort of a chore to go through certain episodes. I like aspects of episodes, but I didn't like the whole time of each episode. Like season 3 starts off strong, season 2 starts off strong, but they're like the second or third episode's kind of lame. But there's different there are parts that I like, and the main part I do like is the theme song for the show. The theme song's amazing. Like I love that song, and the music throughout the show is great. But I don't know if I can hardly endorse the whole series.
I definitely did. I wanted to mention the music because you can listen to the music on Spotify, and I've been listening to it. So I like all the music, the choice, the atmosphere. I like the cinematography. There's a lot of interesting things going on there. I like that it's kind of dark. It's kind of like melancholy at points. Like we've been saying all along, Idris Elba carries the show utterly and completely. There are interesting things. I really enjoyed the show. I like it. I would watch it again, and I would recommend it. It's short. It's not too hard to get through. I mean, it's not a long show by any means, and it's not my favorite at the same time. But I really enjoy it.
I recommend this to almost everyone. I almost got everyone here at the Altness watching it. So for me, like it's a must-watch for me. But I can see the viewpoints from you and Jordan for not liking it as much. But you're wrong, and I hate you.
It's hard for me to go and granted it's not the same show as True Detective, but it's like watching something like True Detective or even Breaking Bad, like it just feels like those shows do it so much better, and I feel like Luther sort of apes off of a lot of different things, you know, Batman, American series and stuff like that, and I don't think it does anything particularly great. I think it's a good show. I think it's enjoyable. I don't regret going through the series, but I don't know if I'll be revisiting it anytime soon. Like I feel like I've had my fill. I do want to see more work from Elba, but you know, I can look elsewhere for that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you're saying with like True Detective or Breaking Bad. To me, those shows feel like ironclad. Like they make very little mistakes. Everything is very intentional. The storyline is super cohesive. Everything that happens for a reason. And
there's nothing so over the top or silly that you can't believe that it happens.
Yeah, and if there is something over the top, it's somewhat rare that it doesn't goad on me that much. But yeah, I do see points where Luther separates from reality. But like I said, overall, I would recommend it. I think it's a fun show. I think Idris Elba is amazing to watch. I think Justin Ripley had good performance too. Warren Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace, Ripley.
Rest in peace. Various other performances. We had Lucian Masamadi, or I'm butchering his name, Masmadi.
Yeah.
Who plays Salvador San in Game of Thrones. Who decides that he doesn't want his fingerprints to be identified, so he just blends his hands. And
well, only one hand. He couldn't even get. I mean, I'm sure the pain was so excruciating. He only did one hand because one of his hands was still intact in the hospital.
He couldn't finish the other one. But yeah, I was like, me and Mike were talking. We're like, there's an easier way to do this. You could just like burn your hands on a grill or something, and it's even more like.
You'll still have them to use.
Yeah, like his hands will be burned and it'll suck for a while, but at least
take razors and like chop off, you're just like I don't know. It's just like it's awful what he did. It's like in the moment he's like, what's the best way to handle this? Blender's the best way to handle this, and I'm just like, oh my god.
He was so nonchalant about it too. He's like, doop doop doo.
I do appreciate, and it's morbid, but I do appreciate that they showed the kitchen afterwards because it's like telling you this is what happens when you put your hand in a blender. Like there's just blood everywhere, It's just like it's not a good idea. There are other ways to do this.
That's
right. And all I can think about was Rob Burgundy. Rob Burgundy is just like, man, that escalated quickly.
Well, I like that he is very nonchalant. He's like, oh shit, they're on to me. Oh, time to get the blender. he just goes up there and turns it on. That's it.
Yeah, like no fear in his eyes or anything like that. Just like hands going in. Just like oh my god, like that's awful.
Yeah, and that was a pretty heart wrenching story too, man. He killed a guy that was hounding him and harassing him and his wife about their deceased daughter.
Yeah.
That was just I was like I felt for the guy.
Yeah, and that's how you can, and that's another thing, like where Luther does things that maybe are not by the book. Like you understood why he would sort of tip off that they're onto the trail and stuff like that. Like he feels for the victims, and again, it's not the right thing to do, but it's not necessarily a bad thing to do either. I guess depending on case by case,
Yeah, it's not the right thing to do in the eyes of the law, but outside the eyes of the law, I guess he understands and sympathizes with people who suffer.
One thing that bothered me at the beginning, when they pulled Ripley aside, they're like, "Hey, we're after Luther, yada yada," and so he's in on it. He's wired or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I was wondering, at that point in the beginning, Ripley was really on Luther's side. He wasn't questioning it. I was like, why didn't he just like stop and like write a note? Hey, I'm wired. Someone's watching you or something.
Well, I'm pretty sure I get a sense that he had doubts about Luther.
He had his doubts too.
Especially, it pushed him over the top, especially when he almost threw the dude off the side of the building.
Yeah.
Very, like Jordan said, very Batman-like.
Swear to me.
Dude's Batman in the flesh.
Yeah.
Black British Batman.
I need to get Pindis on this.
So yeah, I mean Luther. I mean, you guys have any? You want to move to final diagnosis? Do you have any other more comments you want to make on the show before we close out?
No, I think I'm ready. I'm ready to make my diagnosis.
Yeah, I'm ready to make my diagnosis.
Mike, Mike, do you concur? What is your diagnosis?
My diagnosis is it's a must-watch. Definitely watch the show. I like Jordan even said he doesn't really even regret running through it. It's still a fun watch.
Don't start putting words in my mouth.
Hey, you said it, all right?
This is true. This is true. This is true.
Grapes.
But yeah, no, I can't wholeheartedly endorse it. I think it's if you have time to go through it, sure, why not? It's not a complete time waste, but like there are a lot of things I have major issue with, but I don't know. It's a toss up. If you kind of enjoy the first season and continue through it, if you don't care for what's going on in the first season, you're probably not going to like what goes on after that.
My final diagnosis: I would watch it. I would recommend it. I think it's fun. I think it has some good dramatic elements. Like I said, I love the atmosphere. I love the music. Idris Elba, he's great. I mean, to me, it's worth it just to see his performance. Actually, I think it's really good. But yeah,
the one thing I take away from this show is if you need to pass keys to people, put it in an apple, and no one will suspect.
Yeah, key cards. Best way to do that.
Hide it in an apple. That's what it is. So yeah, that was Luther. I had fun watching it. It was good. We haven't decided what we're doing next. Probably will be a single episode of something. I don't think we're gonna do a series next time, but we'll iron that out. But yeah, if you guys want to see more of our stuff, check us out at altness.com, where you can see other episodes of Hard Dose, where we have a discussion about TV shows, movies, video games. We also have other shows and other content on altness.com. Check it all out. We got over 100 YouTube videos now. Follow us.
Fantastic film reviews.
Oh yeah, Mike fans, his lengthy movie reviews.
Yes, very extremely verbose. Yes. No, please check out the fantastic reviews. It's some good stuff right there.
Yeah, I mean, the reviews are 30 seconds to a minute max, so this will be worth your time for sure. But yeah, follow us on our social media, Altness on Facebook, Twitter, yada yada. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time for check us out. I think we're going to be recording sometime before the end of the month. I can't guarantee next week, but yeah, check us out, and we'll see you at your next appointment for Hard Dose.